So I am currently reading this book. The name of this band is R.E.M. by Peter Ames Carlin, and it's a great book. I highly recommend it. I'm not the kind of person who typically reads band biographies or even solo musician biographies. More in the camp of let their art, let their music speak for them, and maybe here and there read little blurbs of biography or the Wikipedia entry just to get a little bit of a background on these people. But I generally won't read especially a long like this. This is over 400 pages, rock and roll band biography. But maybe it's just that I don't know much about the background of REM, is like the history of the band, or maybe it's just that cool orange cover made me take a different approach this time. And when I saw this book in the library, I picked it up and I rented it out, and I'm glad I did, because this is a really compellingly readable book. And like I said, I didn't know a ton, even though REM has been one of my favorite bands since the early 90s. I didn't know a ton about them. I knew they were from Athens, Georgia, or at least that the band itself got its start in the Athens, Georgia music scene. But other than that, and other than some little tidbits of biography that I picked up about the members of the band and the band itself over the years, I didn't know a whole lot. And while the one thing that I really like about this book is that it doesn't really get into any of the personal drama. It really focuses on REM as a unit, as a band. Gives a little bit of a background on each of the members and what they were doing before REM, and to kind of like frame the narrative in terms of who they were when they got together. But it's really heavy on showcasing the path to them becoming a band and working hard at their craft, and then moving up in the music scene and getting some success. And I'm more than halfway through. I haven't gotten to the part where they became like amazing superstars yet, but I'm right around the time of the release of Document, which is really the album that propelled them into rock stardom, so to speak. And so far, this book has just really held up, and it's very well written, and it doesn't belabor, it doesn't get into like exhausting detail about what happened in the studio or anything like that. It's real quick. It paints a very clear and quick narrative of REM as a band, and how they got to where they wound up getting to. And it does so with enough detail that you don't feel like you're missing out on things, but at the same time, you don't feel exhausted by everything that you're hearing. I tried to read a book on Lou Reed a few months ago, and I'm not going to say which book it was because I don't want to trash that book, but for me, it was just too much detail. And I just kind of like, I wound up not continuing, not getting more than a quarter of the way through, because there was too much detail, too much exhaustive detail, and I didn't really feel like I needed to hear that. This is just, it gets to the point, and it moves quickly through the story of REM as a band, and just, sprinkles little facts here and there that are just interesting and fun to read. It provides a lot of good context for the music that I've loved for a very long time. And most of all, it's gotten me back into going through REM's catalog and just kind of listening to these albums and songs again, and placing them in the chronology that's detailed in this book, and just enjoying this band that I've enjoyed for a long time, and just getting back into REM. So I think it's done its job. And I recommend, if you're a fan of REM, whether you're a huge fan or just kind of like a casual fan or somewhere in between, as I would describe myself, definitely check out this book.